Hey peeps, Jess here, and today we're taking on Chocolate Bar NZ and their tasting course. I'm actually really excited about this. This is going to be a part of the Chocolate Geekery 101 series, and what I'm excited about is this is meant for complete newbies. This is a $12.50 New Zealand dollar. I'll put the US value here, and it is meant to be a 6-month subscription program where you learn to taste chocolate through the mail. And I love this as an idea for someone who is just starting out and maybe they aren't near a city, but they want to learn how to taste chocolate and they aren't really feeling the kits. So we're gonna go through it together and see how it goes, because I haven't opened it. I have literally no clue what I'm gonna see behind this box. Before I keep going, I must ask you awesome peeps to hit those like and subscribe buttons so I keep bringing you the chocolate action and maybe some knowledge. What excited me first was that this is cheap, including shipping. I think it was $20 US including shipping, which is expensive for international shipping of a tiny bit of chocolate, but still like cheaper than maybe flying to a city that has a chocolate store, and less intimidating than taking the full Ukrainian chocolate kit if you're not ready and you just want like bite-sized knowledge. Oh, that was a good pun. And they did do a nice job on shipping. There's more where this came from. It's just this is how it looks on the inside, and it's very elegant. Let's get this guy open. Okay, do horrible things to the box. Oh, and immediately I can smell dark chocolate. So they actually have options, the dark in milk and the just dark. I chose dark in milk because I like me some milk chocolate. I was just curious what a range would be like. Oh, whoa, there's like tons of flashcards in here. First we have their like info thingy, and on the back it says welcome. And in the first box you will find lesson 1, which teaches you how to properly taste fine quality chocolate. And there's a notebook in here, which I said in the Chocolate Geekery 101 first video, you know, you gotta take your notes. Then we have lesson 1, how to taste chocolate. And we have 4 bits of chocolate in here that are cute. And then we actually have the information behind it on what the chocolate is, which is really nice. And I'm just gonna look through it quickly. I'm not gonna like, I'm mainly curious if I can eat all the chocolate in here because of my sensitivity to coffee, and I was curious to see if I knew any of the makers. So we've got Foundry Chocolate, Rocca. Haven't had Foundry, have had Rocca. Chocolate Tree I have had, and I have not had Chocolarder. And it looks like everything for me is safe. And we have a very nice chocolate tasting notebook. Check this guy out. Oh, they've got a quote from Map Chocolate from Mackenzie. I love it. Cacao carries an amazing story of cultivation, travel, wild places, the people who've shared its journey, birds landing amongst its leaves, rain falling, farmers tending it and mouths tasting it. It has a story to tell, and the language it speaks is chocolate. Yeah, it looks like there's a lot here about how to taste. I do appreciate the thoroughness of this, especially when you're just getting started. And it's got some nice like refresher notes of like what you might taste, from sugary to grain notes to fruity to floral. This is a nice little kit here. Oh, I like this. So we have the how to assess the chocolate. When I was at the chocolate festival last year, there was a big discussion with Chloe Roussel's talk about things like when you're tasting chocolate, it's good to have the education and consistency. It covers appearance, aroma, taste, texture, and general notes, and a way to be consistent each time you taste. Very nice. With that, we're gonna dive in apparently, because the how to taste chocolate we got right here. Let's just do it. Wow, okay. So what I'm saying wow to is that when I open this guy, how to taste chocolate, bah! So this is a variation on what's normally called the flavor wheel. Not very wheel shaped this time, but it is a lot of flavors, and just a quick skim of what each flavor could be like. This is very much a set of notes I've seen before. This is the first time I've seen it as more of a, not a snowflake, but a geometric design. It's quite nice. Very easy to skim through the zones by color. And then on the back, it's got your notes. So how to taste chocolate. Have fun, make sure you have a clean palate. I've got water behind me. Have a good whiff of your chocolate, as I always say, you know, smell chocolate, then taste. And then look at how the chocolate looks. Let it melt. Think about what you've tasted. Notice how the flavor changes over time. Think about the texture, and take notes. Yeah, this is actually a quite nice little cheat sheet. So let's start with chocolate number 1. Chocolate number 1. So this is not a lot of chocolate, but that's what I expected. It did mention when I paid for it that there were going to be small bites, and this is a good amount for a single tasting of a bar of chocolate to see if you want to buy it. I feel like if you wanted this as best bang for your buck, this is not the series for you. This is more to practice tasting with a little bit of chocolate. Look at it, looks very nice hexagonal mold. This is a very popular mold right now, and I love it for just the evenness of it, so you can see any imperfections in the chocolate. It's a really clean piece of chocolate. I'm not seeing a lot of bloom. So let's smell it. It smells really musky, like more like the cologne of chocolate rather than a straight chocolate note. Interesting. That is an intense piece of chocolate. It's floral and almost like this, not heat, but that sharpness. Almost like the sharpness of cheddar cheese, but not cheesy, just sharp. And then there's a cleanness to it. It's not very chocolate-y, but it's almost a wine note. And more woodsy than you might expect. There's just so much going on. There's so many flavors. You need to try some more because I'm having trouble describing it because just so much happens at once and then has a lingering acid finish. There it is. There's like a cherry apple note to start it. There's just so many flavors going on. It's really, that you need to take several bites just to figure out where you are. It's very strong and then it sort of goes subtle and soft as it finishes. It's a more crumbly temper than I expected, but very smooth and just keeps going and doing stuff. Whoa, that's quite an opener. Following the suggestions, water. I think I'll only eat one more on camera, just because this is gonna be a long video if I did all 4. Okay, I'm gonna skip to number 4 because this guy is a milk chocolate. I wanted to try a clean milk. This is the coconut milk from Chocolate Tree, and I haven't had a lot of chance to play with Chocolate Tree. They're based in Scotland, and they're just really hard to get your hands on if you're in the States. It smells of coconut, like dried coconut, a little bit of roasty note. Very soft. It's a very juicy coconut, if that makes sense. Like, it's just making me want to salivate, so it's very juicy feeling. And it's coconut with a bitter finish, which is really surprising. I expected there would be more of a sweet note, especially for a milk. It feels like eating a macaroon, as in the coconut cookies that are dipped in chocolate. It's like eating that. It's all the notes of coconut and a bit of bitterness from like a dark chocolate, but it's in a milk form, and then there's a little bit of sweetness at the end. So my thoughts on this tasting kit from Chocolate Bar NZ. I think at 20 bucks, this is a really good deal for getting started in chocolate, mainly because you get this notebook here. This is a really, really nice, just beginner way to practice getting through chocolate, and it's already made for you, so you don't have to make anything. You're just here, have this wonderful notebook. My only real ding, and this is minor, is that I wish it was slightly bigger on the pieces for chocolate so that you could split them and share them, because this feels like it'd be more fun with other people, and these aren't very big pieces of chocolate, so either each person only gets to try 2 or you have very small pieces. And given how intense the first one was, the Alto Beni, I needed several bites just to understand what I was eating. So I can imagine for someone just starting out, I want even more bites because it took me a bit to process what was going on. And I at least eat chocolate pretty regularly. I do also like that they have a lot of description here about each bar. It's a lot about the tasting notes, but also things about like why you should be interested in each bar, which personally matters a lot to me because I love knowing those chocolate stories. There's a lot here explaining how to taste. There's not a lot explaining craft chocolate. So they are expecting you to come in with some basic understanding of what craft chocolate is or why you might care, and then you're just diving in just for tasting. But it was fun. I think how they've organized everything is really well done, especially for a beginner. I think the notebook is by itself a really good value for getting started, to have all the notes and education just ready for you. And I think this would be a really fun thing to do with another person. I, again, wish the chocolate bar pieces were bigger, but still you could take half the batch and each try something new, and that's pretty cool. And especially given how expensive chocolate is, to get all these resources ready for you, all set, it's a good starting point. And I hope we get more boxes like this for chocolate, especially in the States, so we're not paying as much on shipping. So with that, I'd love to hear from you in those comments below. Would you get this box, or would you like something like this box to exist? There's no wrong way to learn about chocolate, and so there could be other things we could be missing or all sorts of stuff. There's always something new to learn in chocolate. And with that, I will catch you tomorrow. Laters!